Hello students, today we discuss another topic that is the function of the tubules, the continuation of human excretory system. Already once you recapitulate what I taught in last class and in that last class I taught about urine formation, second subtopic in human excretory system and all. In that one, glomerular filtration rate and all. What is it by glomerular filtration rate? The amount of filtered formed by kidney per minute, that is actually 125 ml. This glomerular filtration rate per minute and based on this one, when you compare to the total day 180 liters, in that 180 liters 99% reabsorbed in remaining the renal tubules, the tubular part of the nephrons and then related to maximum reabsorption takes place only 1.5 liters in the form of urine. It excreted in our body, it eliminates from our body and then in that one, what you said, reabsorption. Before discussing this one, what is it by reabsorption? Once again, it come to the in our body and all. In this reabsorption, what type of substances are reabsorption? How many types of reabsorption? Either active mechanism as well as passive mechanism. Whatever nutrients like glucose, proteins, that is amino acids as well as fatty acids, such type of the nutrients like minerals, vitamins, along with electrolytes, water, sodium, chlorine, all these, whatever these substances, it must be through in the form of active mechanism and all. So what is it by passive mechanism? In passive mechanism means nitrogenous waste material like urea, uric acid, it reabsorption, passive mechanism. That is two types of the mechanism it takes place in that. Then what type of substances are reabsorption takes place under? In this one, reabsorption, that is what type of these things? High threshold substances as well as low threshold substances. Then A threshold substances. So reabsorption of these substances in our body, there are three types segregated under. High threshold substances means the substances maximum it reabsorbs in our body. The substances which very much reabsorb in our body. That is such type of substances we call as high threshold substances like nutrients. Most of the nutrients, vitamins, electrolytes like sodium, chlorine, bicarbonate, such type of this along with another very important like water. So all these substances very much reabsorb in our body and all. That is such type of substances we call as high threshold substances. Low threshold substance means very less amount. That is the substance which reabsorb very low amount, very less amount. Such type of substances, example like urea, uric acid, the substance which reabsorb very less amount in our body. That's such type of substances we call as low threshold substance and all. A threshold means the body never reabsorbs. Some of these substances the body never reabsorbs. Such type of substances we call as A threshold substance and all. That is we call as creatinine. This creatinine substance, it never reabsorbs any toxic materials. Then it is not, if it is harmful in our body, it ready to eliminate from our body. One among the example, creatinine, it never be reabsorbed. Such type of substances we call as A threshold substance and all. Then coming to, this is the reabsorption, that is the active as well as these substances either active or passive and all. Then what are the functioning of these tubules and all, that is renal tubules and all. So in this one, what type of substances are reabsorption? Here, remember carefully, suppose the arrow mark, it leads upward direction, it represents a reabsorption, that is reabsorption. This is the arrow mark towards the renal tubule, the arrow mark that is towards renal tubule, that is we call as secretion. It is towards, it is beyond. Towards the renal tubule, whatever the substances which enter into the filtrate, that is we call as secretion. Whatever upward direction, that is we call as reabsorption. Reabsorption, upward direction of the mark, then towards the renal tubule, towards that renal tubule, that is we call as secretion substance, that is reabsorption as well as secretion and all. So what type of substance which reabsorb in this tubule? That means the proximal convoluted tubule, loop of Henle, distal convoluted tubule, collecting duct and all. In this one, related to proximal convoluted tubule. What type of substances are reabsorbed in proximal convoluted tubule and all? Here, almost all type of the whatever required. So most of the nutrients are reabsorbed through proximal convoluted tubule. So the most of the nutrients as well as electrolytes, most of the nutrients, electrolytes, water, reabsorption. Water reabsorption takes place in proximal convoluted tubule. Why? Because what is present inside the proximal convoluted tubule? The cuboid, simple cuboidal brush border epithelium is present. Simple brush border cuboidal epithelium. Because of brush border, it increases the surface area. It ready to reabsorption again inside in our body only. Instead of elimination in our body, it will be reabsorbed again. There is a proximal convoluted tubule. In this one, 70 to 80% of electrolytes and water, it will be reabsorption takes place under. Along with this one, the selective chemical, selective substance are ready to secreted, ready to eliminate. That is the selective, the selective substances like the hydrogen H plus, along with this one ammonia, hydrogen, ammonia, some amount of potassium, it will be, these are secretion from this proximal convoluted tubule. Because of secretion, it maintains ionic as well as acid base balancing in the body fluids and all. Because of this one, ionic and acid base balance of the body fluids. That means pH, both ionic as well as pH balance of the body fluids, whenever secreted, whenever eliminated from our body in the form of urine. Here secretion in that sense, it eliminate along with the renal tubule, it enter and eliminate from our body. Reabsorption means whatever the substances which are useful in our body, again it will be regained, again it will be reabsorbed inside in our body and all. That is in proximal convoluted tubule. Then related to, in diagrammatically, it is understanding under. Now if you observe, this is the Bowman's capsule. This is the proximal convoluted tubule. The proximal convoluted. This is the loop of Henle. One is the descending, the transverse. Another one, the ascending, the thin ascending, then thick ascending. Both loop of Henle's are present. Then related to the distal convoluted tubule. This distal convoluted tubule, it enter into the collecting duct and all. It enter collecting duct. Not only one, many others also, it ready to collecting. That's why these marks and all. This is the collecting tubule. This is the Bowman's capsule, afferent arteriole and glomerulus efferent arteriole. It is moving towards this direction. So towards this direction it will be moving. This is the way of the direction. Already I said in first class how it will be moving. Related to after a group of collecting ducts, it forms into the duct of Bellini. It entered to the renal pyramid, and along with this one, it is the pelvis, then ureter, then urinary bladder, urethra, like that it expels from our body and all. In this one, the proximal convoluted tubule towards this arrow mark. This arrow mark represents a reabsorption. So in this, this is the PCT and all in proximal convoluted tubule. Already I said and all. This is the what about this one? Cortex region. This is the medullary region. This is the cortex. This is the medulla region of this one. Here, the water as well as nutrients in that sense, glucose, amino acids, such type of one. It is active. It is active mechanism and all. Nutrients, then bicarbonate, some amount of potassium also, it ready to reabsorb. Some amount of potassium into along with this one, secretion also it takes place and all. That is related to water, nutrients as well as bicarbonate, then potassium, along with this one, the sodium chloride. This substance, whatever the arrow mark upward direction, that means it enter in our body part only. That's why it is the reabsorption. Whatever the substance, the arrow mark towards renal tubule, that means towards renal tubule means like this direction. Opposite. Towards renal tubule. Whatever the direction will be present here, related to whatever the direction, whatever we have drawn, but it is towards the renal tubule, whatever it may be present towards the renal tubule, that is we call as secretion. That particular, that is depends upon that particular angle and either that or this one, whatever it may be towards the renal tubule, that is only very important. This is the secretion. Here the H plus as well as NH3, these particular substances are secreted. Because of secreted from body to the renal tubule, it will be secreted. That's why it maintains ionic and pH balance in our body fluids and all. Then coming towards the descending loop of Henle. Then after PCT, this is we called as descending loop of Henle. This is the ascending, that the thin ascending loop of Henle. This is the thick ascending loop of Henle. This is the distal convoluted tubule. It is regarded as the distal convoluted tubule and all. This is the collecting duct or collecting tubule and all. CT, collecting duct or collecting tubule, it will be present and all, like this. So in descending loop of Henle, it is permeable only. In Henle's loop, one is the descending, another one is the ascending is present. In descending loop of Henle, it is reabsorption of water. It is reabsorption of only water. Whatever the amount of water is there, along with the inside that tubular part and all, then total water, maximum water, it ready to reabsorb once again in our body and all. Then here the concentration levels gradually increases from cortex to entering of medullary region. The concentration gradually increases in the filtrate, and the filtrate means urine concentration. It will be gradually increases. That is very important exam point of view. Descending loop of Henle, permeable to water, impermeable to electrolytes and all. Here you write very important. This is the permeable to water, whereas impermeable to electrolytes. Electrolytes in that sense, either Na plus, Cl minus, such type of this one and all. These 2 points are very, very important in descending loop of Henle. Then transverse, already I said, squamous epithelium, it ready to help for absorption, it will be takes place under. Then ascending, while taking off a thin ascending loop of Henle, the passive mechanism. So what is the active mechanism? Like glucose, amino acid, sodium, these particular substance, it ready to active mechanism. Remaining nitrogenous substances like urea, uric acid, passive substance. That preliminarily water, it is also passive. Passively it must be reabsorbed and all. Then a thin ascending loop of Henle, it is here it will be takes place. It will be secreted. It is secreted to the ammonia. It is secreted to the urea, not ammonia. It is secreted to the urea. But here, reabsorption of electrolytes, but impermeable to the water. Very simple logic. Observe carefully. Descending loop of Henle, permeable water. That means maximum reabsorption of water, unable to reabsorption of salts or electrolytes towards in our body and all. Similarly, the thin ascending loop of Henle, it is the secretion of urea through passive mechanism. What is the mechanism which takes place here? That is the passive mechanism. Then related to, whereas thick ascending loop of Henle, it takes place through active mechanism. Here it takes place active mechanism. Here in ascending thick loop of Henle, permeable to sodium chloride as well as calcium, magnesium, electrolytes only permeable. That is related to another very important, that ascending loop of Henle, that is permeable to electrolytes, whereas impermeable to water. So this point is very important. In ascending loop of Henle, vice versa, reverse. In descending, water is permeable, electrolytes is impermeable. Whereas ascending loop of Henle, water is impermeable, electrolytes are permeable. That is reabsorption. Then related to, when we go for this DCT, distal convoluted tubule, because of here also it maintain ionic, because of particular secretion takes place under ionic as well as the pH balance of the body fluids and all. Then here, what type of substances? It is reabsorption related to water as well as bicarbonate, and along with this one, here it will be takes place water, bicarbonate and sodium chloride. Then what type of substances are secreted? What type of secreted means if it from body to here, it ready to eliminate from the body. That's why it is called as secreted. Whichever towards the renal tubule, that particular direction, whether it is whatever the direction that we called as secretion and all. In this secretion, the H plus as well as potassium. Because of H plus potassium secretes in the descending loop of Henle, it is also ionic as well as ionic balance. What type of ionic? Sodium, potassium, ionic balance in the blood and all. Apart from this one, it maintains that particular acid base nature also. So sodium, potassium, that ionic balance in our blood in descending loop of Henle. Here also cuboidal epithelial, there is no brush border and all. It is not maximum, that reabsorption may not be takes place and all. But with the influence of hormones, here with the help of hormones, that hormone influence only it is functioning, it is reabsorbing and all. In this reabsorption with the help of hormone, such type of reabsorption of water we called as facultative reabsorption. Such type of absorption we called as, that is the facultative reabsorption. But in PCT, in proximal convoluted tubule, what type of absorption? This is the obligatory reabsorption of water as well as nutrients and all. Water and nutrients. Obligatory means compulsory, mandatory. But here facultative, if hormones are absent, unable to reabsorption of water. So facultative reabsorption of water. Suppose there is no hormones may not functioning properly, unable to reabsorption. Without reabsorption, maximum amount of water it ready to eliminate from our body in the form of urine and all. That is very important. Then coming towards the collecting duct. In collecting duct also maximum reabsorption of water. Here also maximum reabsorption of water. It is reabsorption of water. But along with this one, here reabsorption of urea. So here remember carefully, while coming to the urea, again it will be secreted. Again it is cyclic one. Urea, it coming to the cyclic one. Here it is secreted inside the tubular part and all. There while coming to the collecting duct, again it will be reabsorption. Again it enter. Like this cyclic process takes place in the urea and all. Here maximum reabsorption of water because of more concentric urine ready to excrete in human beings and all. Very little amount of sodium, chlorine, potassium, also it reabsorption. But majority of this one, maximum here reabsorption, only it takes place into the water. Little amount sodium chloride. Which one takes place along with water? One more urea. Again it will be takes place. Like the cyclic process. It will be takes place in cyclic process. Here also, with the help of hormones influence, the water will be reabsorption. So, distal convoluted tubule and as well as collecting duct or collecting tubule. So, both with the help of hormone influence only, it will be takes place. Such type of this one, both it will be takes place. That is the facultative reabsorption of water without hormone influence. Unable to reabsorption, such type of water along with urine eliminate from our body. That condition we call as dehydration. If we eliminate maximum amount of how much it is, that much only ready to eliminate. More than that one, it is ready. It may be causes to the dehydration. Then now we continue that related to what is the mechanism of concentration of the filtrate. Filtrate in that sense related to urine and all. In this, normally mammals has ability to excrete, to produce more concentrate urine and all. So mammals has capability to excrete the product, the maximum concentration of urine and all. So what is the why that mammals has this much capability and all? What is the main reason? In that nephron, which part act as a key role for that more concentric urine ready to eliminate from their body and all. Here, for that mechanism, we need, that is, it acts as a very important role, loop of Henle and vasa recta. Both act as a key role for this mechanism of whatever the concentration of the filtrate and all, rather than other and all. Loop of Henle as well as vasa recta. Already said how vasa recta will be formed. Very tubular capillary network, whatever efferent arteriole, all get together into the loop of Henle. It will be passes through and it will be coming out towards the renal vein and all, like this manner. In this loop of Henle, descending, transverse, ascending, both these tubular structures are present under both ascending as well as descending loops. Both it will be present under. In this particular activity under, here it will be takes place, counter current takes place in both the tubules under, both ascending as well as descending. What it will be takes place? It takes place that counter current. What does it mean counter? Counter means opposite. What does it mean current? That particular blood flow as well as filtrate flow under. The flow of the fluids, oppositely it will be moving under. So in loop of Henle, what type of fluid it will be moving? Here, the movement of this one, that is the filtrate, that means urine. So inside the loop of Henle, urine, it ready to moving both the direction, opposite direction in that sense. So one it is moving like this one, another it is moving like this manner. This is we call as counter current, opposite one. This is the parallel moving and all. This is the opposite moving. Opposite moving means one is moving this like direction, another one moving whatever the filtrate opposite direction. This is we call as counter current, opposite movement of the fluids and all. So what type of fluid it is oppositely moving inside the loop of Henle, that is the filtrate and all. So counter current, especially the filtrate, that means the urine it will be moves into the loop of Henle. Then vasa recta, in vasa recta, blood it will be flows their opposite direction and all. Here blood floating. Here blood will be moving under. So what type of the flow it takes place into the vasa recta? Blood. What type of flow, what type of liquid it is moving under? That is the filtrate. That means urine it will be moving. So both vasa recta counter current is there, loop of Henle counter current is there. But both get together very proximity one and another and diagrammatically already observed. Both are very proximally it will be present. Both are exchanging with the opposite direction. Then it maintain a specific osmolarity in medullary region. Whenever increase the osmolarity in medullary region, then maximum absorption of the water, more concentric urine ready to excrete that particular healthy human being and all. Here, in this one, the both vasa recta as well as loop of Henle we call as counter current mechanism. Both have counter current pattern, opposite moving of the fluids and all. But both vasa recta as well as loop of Henle, both are exchanging their materials, whatever it will be secreted, whatever it will be reabsorption, that is one particular tubular, whatever it will be secreted, it reabsorbs to the another one. So whatever it will be reabsorption, another one it ready to secrete and all. So vice versa, there is a counter current mechanism, it is present between vasa recta as well as loop of Henle and all. Suppose here if you observe, here it increase and all related to Suppose this is the Bowman's capsule, then the proximal convoluted tubule, then we need the descending loop of Henle, the descending here for understanding purpose, little bit larger one. This is the Bowman's capsule, this is the descending loop of Henle, this is the transverse, then this is the thin descending ascending loop of Henle, then thick ascending loop of Henle, then proximal convoluted tubule. So we need only afferent, glomerulus, efferent and all. So we need only here this particular part. This is we call as cortex. This is the outer medulla. Then this particular part we call as inner medulla. Here the osmolarity gradually increases from cortex to the medullary region. The medullary interstitium, it increases their concentration. Here normally what is this we represent their concentration level of the normal blood concentration, how much is present in PCT. In PCT it will be present 300, here 300 milli osmolarity per liter and down. Normally it represent, it is the milli osmolarity per liter. It symbol MOS, MOL like this one. Milli osmolarity per liter and all. So normally what is the milli osmolarity? Normal blood which are entered into that proximal convoluted tubule and all, it will be present 300 milli osmolarity is present. While moving down, it increase the osmolarity like this 400 as well as 600 as well as 800, then 1000, then maximum 100. Why it increase? Why it increase the concentration? While moving towards the descending loop of Henle from cortex towards the medullary region, why it increase the concentration and generally here what I said just now related to in these particular aspects, what happened here? So normally it is the reabsorption of only water. It is reabsorption of only water, impermeable to the sodium chloride. Only reabsorption of water, impermeable to the sodium chloride and all. So based on that one, here maximum amount of water only it eliminated. That means reabsorption. That means maximum amount of salts are present towards that filtrate and all. Maximum amount of salts are present. Here only water. That's why maximum salts are persistent. That's why gradually it increase the concentration. That's why it increase the concentration. The maximum here 300. Here it will be present normally 600. Here it will be present 900. The outer medullary region 600 to 900. Here 1200. So gradually it increase the concentration because of unable to reabsorption. Only salts are only it is present. That's why. Then related to ascending, it will be reabsorption of sodium chloride, only electrolytes, impermeable to the water. Then what happened? So whatever the salts which are passing all along with the descending loop of Henle, it is reabsorption to the body parts and all. That means what is present? Whatever the fluid, whatever the filtrate, whatever the urine, it ready to dilute it. Whenever diluted, the osmotic molarity, gradually it will be reduces. While moving upward direction, molarity it will be reduces like 600, like 400, like 300 milli osmolarity. Here you remember the descending loop of Henle, the osmolarity gradually increases because of it persistent of electrolytes. Then similarly, ascending loop of Henle, the milli osmolarity, it will be increases because of it is diluted, because of it will be decreases. Here the ascending loop of Henle gradually decrease milliosmolarity. Why? Because the whatever the filtrate which is present all along with this one, it is diluted. That's why maximum amount of sodium chloride will be reabsorbed and all. That's why it is diluted. It decreases their concentration. Then what about vasorector? What about related to that specific type of the vasorector? In vasorector, little bit to oppositely it will be present the direction and all. Now, how loop of Henle it exchanging that whatever counter current mechanism in loop of Henle as well as in descending loop of Henle, because of reabsorption of water, still it persistent of in that filtrate and it increase the concentration descending, whereas ascending the electrolytes it is the reabsorption. Because of maximum amount of water is present, that's why it is diluted, the concentration gradually decreases and all. That remember. Then similarly, the vasorector which are passes all along with these particular substance and all, like this manner. This vasorector, the descending as well as transverse, like this manner. So the green color it represents, that is the vasorector. It will be moving the opposite direction. Just now I said, whatever the substances, it is moving the opposite direction. One is moving, loop of Henle, the filtrate moving like this direction, vasorector blood flowing like this direction. It is not parallelly, anti-parallelly moving and all. Anti-parallelly moving. One is moving towards the direction, another is moving opposite direction. That is anti-parallelly it is moving and all. In that vasorector, whatever the substance, it will be secreted towards, that is sodium chloride. Whenever secreted sodium chloride, then it is absorption of the vasorector. Whenever absorption of the vasorector, here gradually it is present in 300, then 400, then 600, then 800, then 1000, then maximum in medullary, it increase the more osmomolarity. So in descending vasorector, because of whatever from here, the maximum. So whatever here, whatever the sodium chloride, all along with this, along with the sodium chloride, potassium is there, magnesium is there, calcium is there, all is there. For understanding only one, we are calling it. Why? Because here, why it is increase the concentration is the major role, like sodium chloride as well as urea. These two act as a crucial role to increase the osmomolarity, to increase the concentration related to the medullary interstitial into the kidney and all. What is the substance act as the chief role to increase the concentration, sodium chloride as well as urea. That's why we have written here. Whatever here, again it is related to it enter into the vasorector. Whenever enter into the vasorector, what happened? Whatever the less amount of osmomolarity, it gradually increases. Then up to maximum level. Then here water will be reabsorption. That's why whatever here, the water it will be entering, it will be secreted. Whatever water, it enter into the ascending loop of the ascending vasorector. It enter into the ascending vasorector. Whatever the electrolytes already present inside this one, then gradually it is diluted. Whenever water enter into the electrolytes, gradually it is diluted. Whenever diluted, what happened? Milliosmolarity. The osmolarity in ascending vasorector, gradually it is decreases. The 1000 as well as 800 as well as 500 and 400 as well as 300 and all. So gradually it is milliosmolarity, gradually it is reduces and all. Here remember carefully, the descending loop of Henle, it flows filtrate, that means urine, while reabsorption of water, it persistent of electrolytes. That's why the concentration while moving cortex 300 to the maximum 1200 milliosmolarity. Then similarly, here it is the increase. Here what is present? This is opposite direction. Where it is increase, here it is decrease. Understood? Loop of Henle towards downward direction, towards medullary region, it increased. In vasa recta, from medulla to towards cortex, it decreased because of dilute, because of it reabsorption of the water. Reabsorption of water because it becomes into the diluted. Similarly here also, in ascending loop of Henle, because of reabsorption of sodium chloride, reabsorption of electrolytes, it will be, what happened? Gradually it is diluted. Whatever sodium, whatever electrolytes, it is enter towards the body parts and all. That's what happened. Because of diluted, the ascending loop of Henle, the concentration gradually decreases. Here, what happened? The descending vasa recta, in ascending decreases. In descending, what happened? Increases. In ascending loop of Henle, decrease the concentration. The descending vasa recta increase because of it again it will be secreted. It will be entered towards that vasa recta. That is we call as counter current. So one particular tubule, one particular blood vessel, one among the vasa recta, if it is increased, here it is decreases. Here it is decreases. Here it is increases. That remember very carefully, and very, very important exam point of view. Why it is increased the osmolarity whenever that maximum osmolarity in medullary interstitium and it is ready to maximum reabsorption in our body, more concentrate, whatever 125 ml per minute, whatever that particular unit is present, then finally it more than 4 times more concentration urine ready to excrete the human body and all. That is today's class. So next class we will discuss what is the mechanism of this excretion.